My great-grandmother Ernesta was about 9 years old when she stepped on a rusty nail. Not long after, infection began to set in, likely tetanus. Her mother, Mary Bullard, was frantic. Ernesta was her only child, and she was going to lose her if she did not act fast. Mary sent Ernesta to the only doctor she knew, a white man who lived in a big house on the other side of town. The white doctor offered to help, but in exchange, Ernesta would have to live with him for the rest of her life, working for his family. Growing up black and a girl in 1915 left her vulnerable. In rural Alabama, during one of the worst periods of race relations in America, these were the detestable but predictable terms of engagement. Mary, panic-stricken, agreed. Thankfully, Mary's mother, a former slave, intervened and refused the doctor's proposal. She picked up her ailing granddaughter and took her home. There, she administered every natural remedy at her disposal. Ernesta survived, but for the rest of her life, she walked with a limp. Whatever space she entered, whatever path she took, she was marked by an imprint of racial violence. My mother told me this story when I was a child to explain my great-grandmother's limp. It was not until I was an adult that I realized that the rusty nail was not the root of her trauma. This story has always gripped me, for several reasons. First, Ernesta was a child, her mother's only child. How could a doctor refuse a dying child medical care when it was in his ability to heal her? He had abandoned his oath, primum non nocere. First, do no harm. Second, nearly 50 years out from slavery, white folks still felt entitled to black labor and life in perpetuity. Clearly, everything was transactional to this white doctor. Built into the deal he offered was a lifetime of servitude and likely physical and sexual abuse. White supremacy in America can be summed up by these two diabolical options: live a life in bondage, or refuse and limp. To be black in America is to limp. My great-grandmother's gait had nothing to do with biology and everything to do with power. The power of the white doctor to neglect and attempt to exploit a little black girl who came to him for help. But this book is not about the white doctor or the millions of white people like him. In many ways, this book is about my great-great-great-grandmother's response, her refusal. It is about how she saved my great-grandmother. It is about resistance to white violence that seeks to still, kill, and destroy black lives.